Maverick News presents The Rick Walker Show. Defrag your mind.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rick Walker. Welcome back to the Maverick News channel. Welcome new viewers and welcome back, Maverick family. Great to have everybody here. I was not actually going to broadcast tonight, but here I am. And I think we're having some exposure issues, but I'll deal with that as the broadcast continues. I'm not sure how long I'll stay with you this evening. I was not on last night because, as the caption in the thumbnail tonight says, we are, I believe, under attack here at this channel. And in a broader sense, I think we are all actually under attack, which is one of the reasons I did decide to come on here this evening and speak with you. I did not broadcast last night because it has become quite clear to me that this channel, all of our channels, our websites, all of our digital assets are once again under some kind of attack. So I'm digging into that again, and we have been dealing with this kind of thing, especially over the past year. Folks, we are, I believe, truly in World War III. And we are being targeted because we are one of, many independent media outlets at the center of this storm. We are a target. We are being suppressed, hacked, manipulated, or at least there are attempts being made to manipulate us in a variety of ways, and we'll talk about that. More than that, you're being targeted, every single one of us. We are all being targeted. We are all under attack tonight. We have been for a while. Most people don't even realize it. It's affecting every aspect of my life, your life, everyone's life, our society. It is unprecedented. We are in an information war. We're being targeted through digital means, cyber warfare. And while over in Ukraine, there is a kinetic war underway, there is an actual war being waged right here on the home front in North America, in Canada, the United States, indeed around the world. People pay lip service to this, but I'm here tonight to tell you that we are in the thick of it. Who can you trust? I would say very few, if anybody. All these things going on around you are in one way or another connected to all the other things going on around you. And the things that you're focused on, the things that you think are important may not be important at all. They may indeed simply be distractions. And we hear talk like that, but I'll illustrate that for you tonight. I honestly have not had a lot of time to prepare for this evening's broadcast because I have been so busy sort of dealing with the cyber attacks that have been leveled against this channel, this media operation itself. I've been working to make sure everything here is secure. Again, at great expense to this operation, I might add. I have a team of cyber experts, digital information experts, digital security experts, working to keep everything here secure. Our social media channels, our websites, all of our digital assets. because we are under constant attack, have been, and it's been ramped up over the past couple of weeks. Beyond that, more than that, what's even more concerning is it is quite evident that we are being monitored by people with particular agendas, political agendas, and we are being controlled in terms of distribution by the social media giants like Facebook and YouTube. They are giving us what they choose to give us. Only in brief moments are we able to break through their algorithms and break free of the suppression. And that really has been the result of broadcasts that have been overwhelmingly popular and shared so much that the algorithms, the safeguards, if they're call them safeguards, these provisions they put in place to suppress these channels, to suppress our channels, we break free of them every once in a while whenever we get a big show. And we break through ceilings, caps that they impose on us. And because at that point, there's just no way for them to deny it, even from the shadows. We've achieved that in the past couple of weeks, which is why I've seen, I'm certain, such strange things going on with the channels. I'm going to take a brief break, and when we come back, I'll talk about not just all of that, but also how this is affecting governments, Russia, the United States, our society. Russia targeted again just within the last couple of days by hackers who took over television channels there to deliver a pro-Ukrainian message. Russia is portrayed in Western media as the hacker, but Russia is actually the victim of cyber warfare as well. In fact, I would argue on a much greater scale, and they have been heavily targeted over the past year. I'll show you when we come back. Do not go away. This is an important broadcast. I'm going to tell you the truth as much as I can. I'm going to lay it out for you in very rough terms tonight because, as I say, I am learning about this as we go on the fly, as we are under attack again. And it's important for everyone to wake up to this because unless you're aware of what I'm about to share with you, you're not truly awake.
The New World Order. Government overreach. The Great Reset. Mainstream media lies. Now more than ever, independent voices are needed. Donate now, at freedomreporters.com. That's freedomreporters.com. Maverick News. The antivirus program. For your mind.
Fear not the storm, for truth is on our side. Maverick News. The world is watching.
I'm back. And as you see right there, there's a headline. This is from actually a year ago. A full year ago, Anonymous declared a year ago war on Russia. Very strange. I took note of it. Didn't pay a lot of attention to it, but we should. A year ago. What is Anonymous? It's a loosely knit organization of cyber hackers, terrorists, if you will. And they engage in all kinds of online hacking. Are they acting like a bunch of Robin Hoods, or are they cyber terrorists? It depends on who they're hacking at any given time, whether they're viewed as heroes or zeros, bits and bytes. It depends on who they're biting, I suppose. And I would submit this to you. How do you even know that's true? How do you know that Anonymous declared war on Russia? How do you know it's not the United States intelligence services that have declared war on Russia and are using Anonymous as a front? How do you know? How do any of us know who's really doing what? How do these hackers get away with what they do? Hacking into government websites, into systems that control everything from our water treatment plants to our energy grid. Why would a hacker who helped set up the anonymous group, why would a hacker who claims to be an anonymous leader hack into the Give, Send, Go account for the Freedom Convoy? Aubrey Cottle, one of the most well-known hackers in the world, Canadian. Why would he do that? Why would Anonymous target Russia and the Freedom Convoy? Do any of these things even make sense? Do you remember Aubrey Cottle? He went on TikTok, made a video bragging about hacking the Give, Send, Go. This is a good place to start tonight's discussion. If it was him, the list of donors through Give, Send, Go was obtained through this hacking endeavor and then released to the public, or at least publicly. And then who made the most use of it? Police enforcement, the government. They used that list, which was obtained illegally through hacking, and then went after some of the people who had donated money to the Freedom Convoy. So an independent hacker working through Anonymous, who claims to be one of the founders of Anonymous, hacks the Give, Send, Go, releases the information publicly. I'm not even sure that he ever was charged with anything for having done that. It's a US-based operation, Give, Send, Go. He's based in Canada. The information is then used by government agencies to go after people who donated to the Freedom Convoy. Here's Aubrey Cottle. You may remember this video. How could you forget if you've seen it once? It burns, it sears into your memory.
I don't care! You can literally put my name into the news tab on Google. I am literally in every mainstream media publication for the things that I do. I'm not an unknown actor. Nothing scares me. Nothing. I've hunted pedophiles. I've outed pedophile rings online. I have gotten pedophiles arrested, buddy. You have no idea who the hell I am.
That was a compilation of sorts from his video. Let's bring it up again. Here we go. And again, it just burns into your brain, doesn't it?
Nothing. Yes, I doxed the truckers. I did it. It was me. I hacked Give, Send, Go, baby. and I do it again.
Mm-hmm. And why this whole thing about the pedophiles? This was a year ago. We're frozen here for a moment.
Give, send, go, baby, and I do it again.
Still freezing. And this is one of the things I'm talking about. This is some of the weird stuff that's been going on around here for the past couple of weeks. A lot of internet problems. Videos freezing, feeds during the middle of the show just cutting out, disrupted shows, disrupted feeds, YouTube feeds completely cut off midstream, live, guests booted out of the online studio, and this kind of stuff. Now, I don't like to be a conspiracy theorist, but it's a little too much to be a coincidence. Very, 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 very strange. So that's Aubrey Cottle, and that was just after the convoy. Not that I'm fixated on the convoy so much. Let's try it one more time with Mr. Cottle, shall we? See if we can run this for you again. It's, to say the least, colorful.
Scares me. Nothing. Yes, I doxed the truckers. I did it. It was me. I hacked Give, Send, Go, baby. And I do it again. I do it 100 times. I did it. I did it. Come at me. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to me, huh? I hacked Epic Hosting! I hacked Parler! I hacked Gab! I hacked Truth Social! I hacked... Nothing scares me. Nothing.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. Nothing scares him. A lot of things scare me. He scares me. Yeah, he scares me. He scares me because he doesn't seem stable. He scares me because he has a lot of knowledge. He scares me because it's pretty clear he can hurt people in a whole bunch of ways, especially in ways that involve cyber terrorism. And we're being targeted here. And I'm not saying he's doing it. Not at all. But somebody is. And somebody's targeting Russia. They have been for over a year. So this is a year ago. And this was anonymous, which claims to have hacked into Russian streaming services, the Russian streaming services Wink and Ivy, I believe. IVI, anyway, however you pronounce that, which is like a Netflix channel in Russia, apparently. As well as live TV channels, Russia 24, Channel 1, Moscow 24. And they were broadcasting a year ago war footage from Ukraine. How they do this, I'm not exactly sure, but this is what has happened. Let me just show you. This was a year ago, and we're going to get to what's most recently happened just within the last few days. Here we go. So as I say, this was a year ago. War footage, just they hacked in to show people this a year ago.
Офицеры говорят.
Сам как-то 11.02, 28 число. Вот так примерно выглядит русский мир.
I don't speak the language. I can't tell you what that says on the screen. So, yeah, I mean, this is digital warfare. This is cyber warfare. This is information warfare. Cyber warfare crosses over, it dovetails into information warfare, doesn't it? Because they're trying to feed you a particular narrative, right? Well, that's what they've done just within the last 24 hours here. Maybe 48. Again, I haven't had a lot of time to prepare for this because I've been so busy with getting everything ready tonight. But I know that they hacked into Russian television again, this within the last 2 days or so. Millions of Russians were warned that the hour of reckoning has come. And they did this during primetime viewing hours when Russian state TV was hacked into. They were plastered with this message when cyber hackers managed to get into the system. I can show you some images from it. And again, I apologize for this exposure issue here, folks. I know that some parts of this video tonight are coming in way too hot, overexposed. It's strange, but I'll try to fix that as we go. Here's some of the some images from what was broadcast. And I can show you the actual video here. This is what was broadcast, I guess. War footage produced. Telling people it's the end of days. And then they went to Swan Lake. Weird. So I'm not sure how effective that is. On the one, it certainly generates concern and even fear among the population, right? But on the other side of that, I'm not sure that they, aside from fear, and maybe that is the only objective here. Maybe that has been the only objective. But once you establish that you've taken over the television signals and you're basically engaging in cyber terrorism against the Russian people, I'm not sure that the Russian people become a fan of you if you're the hacker. You're not winning the hearts and minds that way. I don't think, when you're scaring people. But the objectives, I think, sometimes are never really that clear. Going to take a brief break. I'm going to try and fix this exposure problem. And then when we come back, I'm going to tell you why the movies that you're focused on might not be the movies that you should be focused on. Although I think all the movies are movies that are filling our heads full of various kinds of messaging, all of which is part of the attack on all of us. I'll be right back.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech. Free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
So when I say that I'm not sure that we're focused on the right movies, what I mean by that is I recently went to see the new Tom Cruise flick, Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, first part of a two-part series. The script is all about artificial intelligence and how an AI program went berserk and now poses an existential threat to all of humanity. And the race is on by countries around the world and private megalomaniacs to obtain a special key to take control of this cyber entity, which has become self-aware, can think for itself, and is already controlling events and people, and can predict the future because it can manipulate events and can actually therefore create the kind of future that it wants. It raises all kinds of crazy questions, ethical questions, and even religious questions, questions of our own self-existence. For instance, are we truly able to determine our own destiny? It's all pretty deep stuff, actually. It's a very good script. But the reason I bring it up is I think of all the movies out there right now, that is a movie, that's a story that really does foreshadow or foretell our future. It is, in at least on the surface, science fiction. But I would say it is maybe already science fact. We're already living, as you've seen, in a George Orwell 1984 dystopian reality today, because we are living in a world that is linear, but is now being influenced and changed because we are also immersed in an alternate cyber reality, which is in our brains. When I walk outside and I look at a tree, the tree is there. I know that is real. At least I perceive it to be real. Therefore, it is real. I think, therefore I am. I see the tree, therefore it is there. But what else is real in my brain? What is real in my brain is my reality. When we are dealing with a digital universe, which we are in right now, connecting with one another, I'm communicating with you. You guys are in the chat communicating with each other. You're communicating back to me. But is this real? This is bits and bytes. We're in the metaverse, the cyber universe. Is it real? It's real in my mind. And what if I implant a suggestion in your minds? What if I influence you to get you to do something? Are you therefore determining your own destiny by making a decision on how you act to what I say? Or am I manipulating your future and determining your future for you by implanting that suggestion through this digital medium? And what if I use special effects or a deep fake, create something that otherwise would not be real at all, and then use that to convey that information to you and convince you that that's real, to then influence your actions and get you to do something that you otherwise would not have done. Are you then in a position of self-determination? Or did I just determine your future for you? What if the government is determining all of our futures for us? What if they are implanting thoughts into our brains that otherwise would not be there? And indeed they are. So are big companies engaging in massive marketing campaigns. People use the word propaganda. What is propaganda? It's basically marketing. But marketing today is not what it used to be. Marketing today comes in many forms. Marketing comes through the internet, billboards, traditional radio commercials, newspaper ads, but it also flows through your mass media, through your books, through your television programs, through programs that you watch online every single day, through Facebook, social media, Twitter. As I've said, if one country wants to take over another country today, the best way for them to do it is not to fire a shot. It is to manipulate the people using the internet, social media, to create a mental construct through the dissemination of information to get people to react, to take a particular action, to convince them that something is real, to engage them, to get them to support a cause, to manipulate people, to get people to go out into the streets and protest en masse or even go to war, and get them so emotionally engaged that they are willing to kill other human beings because they believe so strongly in the message that the government is giving you. Or maybe not your government, but a different government. Or maybe it's a government posing as your government. Or maybe it's a political movement that gives you one message to get you to act a particular way when in fact their agenda is something completely different and you don't even know. And who can you trust? I say I trust almost no one anymore, except maybe my dog, who's not a person at all. And I wouldn't even trust my damn dog these days if I thought he could talk. There's a lot going on here. Right now, tonight, I guarantee you this broadcast is being monitored. You know why it's being monitored? It's being monitored by governments around the world. It's being monitored by my government. It's being monitored by every superpower, police services, the social media giants themselves. And do you know why? Because we talk to everybody. And I'm pretty sure that even as they monitor me, they don't even understand me. They think that I might be a threat to them, or maybe they think I'm on their side. They can't quite figure me out. I know that. Because they're not really dealing with anybody like me these days. Journalism is dead. So when they have a journalist on their hands, a real journalist, they don't know what to do with them. Sometimes I phone police services up, the media departments, to get information. Sometimes they talk to me. Sometimes they don't. And that to me is weird. Because it's their job to talk to journalists. And I'm a real damn journalist. But they're afraid. They're afraid to talk to the wrong journalist, who's not maybe really a journalist. So they pick and they choose, and the governments do the same thing. And nobody really knows who to trust anymore because everything appears to be a construct these days, not just black and white. It's not just what is reality. It is, what do you believe? If I tell you something here tonight, Should you believe it? If someone tells you that chemtrails are real, should you believe it? Do you believe it? But if somebody tells you chemtrails are not real, should you believe that? And once you decide if you're going to believe one or the other, why do you believe it? Because you choose to. Why do you choose to? Did you make up your own mind? Are you truly a critical thinker? Or have you been manipulated to make a decision this way or that way? How do you know? Oh, I did the research, you say. Have you? What research? Where did you get your information? Did you check your sources? How do you know those sources are true? How do you know they're accurate? How do you know that study's for real? How do you know that anything anybody says to you is true? Anything. Show me the data. Show me the scientific data. Scientists have been showing us data on a variety of things all through history. And science is always in flux. It seems to change. And so often it seems that it's political. So how the hell do you know? You see it with your own eyes, but sometimes your eyes can deceive you. Your perception is molded by what you believe. My reality has been blown up. Things I thought I knew turned out to be not quite the way that I thought. People I thought I understood no longer act the way that I would expect them to. People that are close to me believe things now that I know, at least in my reality, are not true at all. Things that I used to believe, but because they think they're awake, they think they have the truth. And because they think they have the truth, they've got blinders on and they won't open their eyes to look at anything else anymore. And it's dangerous. Always keep your eyes open. Stay open to all information. As soon as you close your eyes, close your ears, you're down a hole someplace and it's dark. And you've got a singular perspective. And sometimes I'll tell you this. You go there, you're probably right where the people want you, who are manipulating you, and you think that you're awake. You think you have engaged in self-determination, that you're determining your own destiny, and in reality, you haven't at all. Awake? No. Half awake, maybe. One eye. We are under attack at this channel. See what I eat. I've been looking behind the scenes at our security data. We're under heavy attack. Who's doing it? Well, it's a variety of people. And some of the people are people that you might think would be our friends. But they're not being so friendly. Again. It's okay. Comes with the territory. You know why? We are at war. World War III is upon us right now. We are in World War III tonight. It has presented itself as a kinetic war in Ukraine. We've been working toward it since World War II with a series of conflicts and proxy wars globally. Vietnam, Syria, Yemen. The list goes on. Conflicts over Israel. We've learned nothing from history. We just keep recycling the same crap, the same ideologies. We keep making the same damn mistakes. We just keep amplifying it, making it worse over and over. And this time, it might truly be the end of times because the technology has progressed to such a point where we are truly on the cusp of annihilating humanity. What I'm dealing with here, tiny little problem. We're under cyber attack. It's not just cyber attack, though. It's manifesting itself in other ways, too. I'll talk about that in a sec. Come back to it. But it's important to realize that we, and I want to emphasize this, we are on the edge of nuclear frickin' annihilation. And at the center of it all is this new fifth generation warfare, this cyber war, information war, and it is an information war. And people don't really understand it because it's coming at us from the shadows. You don't know who's doing it to you. You don't even know that it's being done to you. A lot of people just don't know that they're being messed with. You don't know. You go see a movie at the theater, I'm telling you that they're messing with you. You turn on your television, they're messing with you. You turn on your computer, they're messing with you. Everything you consume, all the information, they're messing with you. I don't care if you watch ABC, NBC, CBS, independent. It doesn't matter. Independent media. Don't watch mainstream media. Just watch the independent guys. They're the only ones you can trust. Can you? Oh, they're telling you the truth, are they? How do you know? How do you know that this independent guy is serving you in good faith? I just watched a video. I'm not going to tell you who because I don't want to get him upset. I've watched 2 videos in the last 2 days. He's conveying information. He's supposed to be kind of a journalist, sort of. But he's not. He's an activist. And you know what he says? And I'm so sick of this. He started criticizing another online streamer and said that people shouldn't, and this is a freedom guy, okay? He says, don't listen to this other freedom guy because the other freedom guy is an atheist. And you can't trust that guy. And he said he wasn't going to mention that guy's name. And then about 10 minutes in, he actually mentioned the guy's name. He said, well, I'll tell you who it is. And then he told you, everybody, who it was. And said, but don't watch that guy because you can't trust him. Because he's an atheist. How the heck are you supposed to solve any of the problems in the world when you tell people, when you just refuse to talk to other people? How are you going to solve anything when somebody who's supposed to be on your side to begin with, and then you're fighting with that guy because he's an atheist, and I don't know I don't know what that guy is, the guy who's saying this. I guess he's some sort of a Christian. Jesus. Don't listen to that guy. Yeah, just shut him out. And don't listen to those people over there. We're not going to talk to them. Okay. Let's just divide everybody. And then they talk about unity. Oh my. We need unity, but don't listen to them. And we're not going to talk to them. And they're not welcome here. We're doomed. Perpetual fighting. So this is going on. You know, I know why we're being targeted. Because I'm practicing a lot of old school journalism. I talk to this guy, I talk to that guy. This guy gets a voice. Everybody gets a voice. We're all about free speech. We are truly about freedom. You have an opinion? Go ahead, express it here. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it. And then as soon as I put on a conservative, a socialist gets upset. As soon as I put on someone who has something to say about, well, you pick an issue. Side A gets side B upset just because I talk to him. I'm not supposed to talk to that guy. I have my views and my opinions on things, and I express them here, and that gets people upset too. But if you truly believe in freedom, then you have to give everybody a chance to say their piece. Doesn't mean I have to sit here and give everybody a megaphone indefinitely. It doesn't mean that I have to let everybody just sit here and take over the channel. That's what a lot of people want, and that's why we're under attack. Because some people want to take over the channel. It's not about me. It's all about you. It's about you guys. They want access to you. Or if they can't get access to you because I've said enough is enough, you've had your chance, then they want to shut this thing down so that nobody else can have access to you. Whether it's the social media companies themselves or a government or some other agency of some kind. It's all about you guys. They are afraid of this channel. They are afraid of what I'm doing because I truly want to give people a voice. That's what we've been doing. They're afraid. Then be afraid. It's about freedom of thought, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, free media. Nobody wants that these days. Tough. I'm not stopping. I didn't come on last night because I'm quitting. I didn't come on last night because I'm just trying to be smart. I'm trying to figure out what the best path forward is here. How to best serve you. All the people here, the Maverick family, the community, our society, our country, the world. What's the best path forward? What do I need to do to overcome this suppression? This attempt to censor us? To discredit us? You know, if it's not the social media companies trying to suppress this operation, by throttling, shadow banning, outright banning temporarily, or in some cases permanently, channels that we've had. Then it's people who, on one hand, were happy to come on the program and spew forth with their particular views and then turn around and get upset because we've had somebody else come on to express a counter opinion, or because I've taken exception to what they've said and I've expressed a different particular point of view. So then they get upset and come over here and then try and shut everything down by unleashing trolls in the chat where they act like a bunch of juvenile delinquents in order to disrupt things and scare people away. Because they have a team to do that. And if it's not them on the one side, it's the people on the other side doing the same thing. And it's very disruptive. And they've got other tactics that they use as well that I've become aware of in order to try to suppress the channels, to get the channels taken down. And then there's a whole, there are even these whole campaigns out there. I just mentioned that one guy who's telling people to not talk to or pay attention to the other freedom guy. Well, there are campaigns out there like that about us too. As soon as somebody tells you shouldn't be listening to somebody, you know what you should do? You should go listen to that person, as far as I'm concerned. Don't listen to that guy. I want to listen to what he has to say now. What is it that you got you so upset? Well, he's an atheist. Yeah? Well, let's hear it. The best way to deal with bad ideas is to inject more information. If somebody's got a bad argument, counter it with a good argument. A lot of people got upset because I brought Adrian on with his flag and his swastika. Or you're just giving him a platform. Yeah, well, you know what? He's already got a platform. He's been on all over the place. The freedom movement's been giving him a platform. He goes from stop to stop to stop to stop to stop. So let's have a discussion about it. I'll talk to you about it. I did. And the people are all so upset about it. What are you afraid of? I don't like it. Let's talk about it. It's information. Don't want to get into that whole issue tonight, but some people think that makes me a villain. That is free speech. That's freedom of media. That's me doing my darn job. How do you know what's real? I don't know. I don't know if what I think is right. I get up every day. I have for years. All through my career in journalism, for decades, every day I get up and I ask myself, how do you know that anything you think is true or right? Because everything that you think you know is predicated on everything that you were taught, everything you think you learned. It's based on your worldview, your particular perspective, your life experience. And my experience is completely different than somebody else's. So how do I know that anything I'm saying, how do I know anything is true at all? It's only as true as, it appears to be to me. I don't know, man. And then people seem to be, they have such conviction. They're so invested in their particular point of view. They just won't let it go. Can't tell them anything. Can't discuss anything. I've had a lot of things, especially the last few years, blow up in my head, man. And stuff blows up every day here. But I get sad, and honestly, I have to be quite honest, I get depressed because of what I see going on and the way people are being manipulated. And it isn't just from one side. It's coming at you from every side. Because all these people, all these players, all these organizations, political groups, everybody, they've all got an agenda, man. And they're engaged in some sort of information warfare all through this. They're all engaged in it. They want you to do this, or they want you to do that. So they're manipulating you. They're trying to manipulate you. They are manipulating you. They just are. So the best I can do here is present the information. Not engage in too much cheerleading. Yeah, I'm going to express my opinions. Because the medium demands it. It's not like television. It isn't like just a newspaper where there's always been this facade of impartiality, except on the editorial pages, where you will find the true motivations behind a paper, sort of. Best I can do is just keep moving forward and pledge to you that I will always approach this the way I always have. I will try to do what is in the best interest of the public, in your best interest. I'm not always going to get it right, and there's no getting around it. I'm always going to be approaching this with my own particular worldview. I can tell you that nothing I have experienced, the years that I have worked as a journalist, nothing I was taught in school has prepared me for what I've been going through on this journey since reestablishing this particular news channel. Nothing has prepared me for this. I know that sometimes I sit here and I talk like I'm talking tonight, and I think a lot of what I say just kind of washes over people. People don't really grasp what it is I'm trying to convey to you, because I'm seeing it from a different perspective. I'm seeing it from here. I'm seeing the digital data coming in. I'm experiencing the hacking. I'm experiencing the phone calls that come in from people who are trying to get on this channel so that they can get access to you, the emails that come in, the fake information that flows to me, the feedback that I get from the viewers, some of which is reality-based, some of which is the result of further information manipulation. And I'm constantly assessing this stuff and trying to determine what is it that I need to be talking about in order to best serve you night to night to night to night. It's confusing. And when I see people being sucked into areas where they are immersed in a fake construct that has no basis in reality in the real world, I get depressed because I see them as victims of this third world war. casualties. There's mental illness spreading. It's far and wide. It's a mental illness that prevents people, it distorts people's reality because it creates a reality in their minds where people just believe something, therefore it is true. You see, because if you think, therefore I am, if you believe something that has been constructed through a digital reality, but it becomes reality in your mind, then it is real. It can be so real that just the thought of something that you think can make you sick can actually make you sick. It can make you feel physically ill because the power of the mind is so powerful. And once someone twists it, distorts your reality, creates an entire reality for you, they can control you. I'm not even sure who's doing it. That's the whole point of this exercise. You don't know. I showed you at the beginning of the program reports from various media outlets saying that Anonymous a year ago had declared war on Russia. People have accepted that as being factual. But do you know that that's the truth? Maybe they're just reporting that. There's clearly, we know that there are cyber attacks going on in Russia. But who's really doing it? Was that Anonymous? Maybe it was Britain. Maybe it was the owner of some big corporation who has some profit motive. Maybe it was the United States. Maybe it was my next door neighbor. Maybe it was Anonymous. Maybe it was Aubrey Cottle. How do you know? How do I know? How do any of us know? How do we know that all those stories about Anonymous doing all of this, how do we know that wasn't just a fabrication, a smokescreen to get you to believe that so that they can then do all of this in the name of Anonymous and blame it all on Anonymous, whatever Anonymous is? Ever think of that? You don't know. And how do you know that anything that they're being told is true at all? And how do you know that you're really awake? It's time to wake up. And then I talk to people who think they're awake, and I'm like, you don't even have a clue. You're only halfway there. Only halfway there. I know that there are people out there who want to shut this whole thing down, this whole thing I've been doing with you guys. Facebook. We're not broadcasting on Facebook. Tonight, we're still on a ban for frivolous things that are not entirely clear. But we're under attack that way. See, it's not just digital attacks. It's strategies that are being used to suppress information. Campaigns launched. And to get our Facebook stuff taken down, it has been an ongoing campaign that has spanned months. It's not just Facebook doing it. It's complaint driven, I believe. It's frivolous stuff that has actually no basis within the terms of their operating agreement with people. The violations we've been accused of, we simply haven't been guilty of. And upon appeal, I've actually won the appeal, but it just they've targeted every single video we've made for the past 3 years. Blocked everything. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just talking about it. My problems, this big. The broader problem, global. And it affects you guys. That's why I'm on here tonight, to explain why I didn't come on here last night. I wasn't going to come on tonight. I am trying to figure out how to deal with it so that these channels can be preserved, so that our websites can be preserved, so that we can continue to move forward. And I've been of the mind for the last couple of weeks that maybe I need to dial this thing back, take my face right off social media while I figure this out. But, you know, I came on tonight because I know that I received so many messages last night. Rick, where are you? Where's the show? How come you're not on? Well, I know that people don't like to be left hanging. And even if I post a message here or there to let people know, it just doesn't get out. So I thought I better come on and let people know what's going on. And we are under attack. And I mean, we've seen here as well that this third world war has extended to our banks. Banks are under attack. We've seen businesses under cyber attack. You're under cyber attack. And the technology has progressed to the point where it's becoming extremely dangerous, because we do have like deep fake technology where they can, and they have already created deep fake images and videos of world leaders, including Vladimir Putin. And Vladimir Zelensky. Here's this from 5 months ago. And it's not just over in Russia, it's here in North America as well. But I'll tell you, well, Russia is accused of being, you know, the most aggressive hacker on the planet. They've been pretty relentless over there in Russia. Either the Ukrainian, NATO, US, Britain alliance, whatever. They've been very aggressive. This is, look at this. This is 5 months ago.
President. Yes, the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky made a surprise appearance on Russian TV on Wednesday when digital broadcasts were disrupted in the apparent hacker attack across southwestern regions of the country. Now, TV viewers in Belgorod region, as well as in Crimea, reported that their viewing was interrupted by an address from Zelensky, who was speaking Ukrainian. It lasted for about a minute before programs continued as scheduled. Now, Crimean officials blame the incident on a hacker attack, pointing fingers at Ukraine's intelligence services and their mischief. Facing a deplorable situation in the front lines, the Ukrainian special services resort to hacking into internet broadcasting and displaying their Zelensky clown. At the same time, on-air broadcasting on TV channels has been going on, and is going on as usual. A media advisor to the Crimean government, Oleg Kryuthkov, told RIA Novosti. Yes, I love how, you know, depending on what side you're on, and that way it depends on who the clown is.
Anyway, enough of that. You're getting the idea. You know, that was 5 months ago. So I've just shown you incident after incident after incident after incident over the entire year. This stuff all being directed at Russia, showing exactly how targeted and aggressive the cyber attacks, the information warfare has been coming from the NATO countries, Ukraine against Russia. Extremely aggressive. It shows you that we are truly in an information war. And then coming back on this side, have you seen any of the television stations here hacked? I haven't seen it. Have you seen that kind of stuff going on over here? No. Do the Russians engage in information warfare? Oh, of course they do. Every country does. China does. Everybody does. You know, India, name a country. They're engaging in it on one level or another, and they're also, you know, trying to protect their digital assets as well. And now part of the reality of running a news operation, I guess, is that we have to have our own cybersecurity at a pretty high level as well, because we're under constant attack. And it's also linear because I have people coming in and posing as this thing or that thing, and they're trying to get on the air and they want to talk about this or they want to talk about that. And if they're not posing, they're just being straight up, but they just want access. So I have to gauge all of that. And a lot of that is still old school, but it's being done in new ways too. So it's all coming at us, right? And it just shows you that we are all absolutely under attack. Banks. We just went through a series of bank hacks. Industrial level sabotage, Nord Stream pipeline blown up, and then information warfare that followed that. Who did it? Oh, it was those guys. The Russians blew up the dam. No, the Ukrainians blew up the dam. How do you know? You know what? You don't. You just have to look at the information, and then we all decide what we want to believe. Hopefully we come down on the right side of history. I don't know. Alex Jones, InfoWars, adrenochrome. What's true? I don't know. I was getting ready for this other broadcast the other night. It was supposed to be last night. We didn't do it. Lori's Strange Bedfellows program. We were supposed to talk about godless communists. And it reminded me of some stuff that I'd seen as a child, and the kind of information warfare that took place back then. And this is the kind of information warfare that was waged when I was a kid. Comics. This is a treasure chest from parochial schools of the day, Christian-based stuff. I remember reading some of these when I was a kid. Really well written, propaganda, information, depends on your perspective. Tells the story of communism. But that's old school. Today, everything is much more sophisticated. It's scary. It's scaring me because this information war is messing people up. It's being done on purpose. It's being done to make people hate on both sides. During World War II, really during any war, people were taught to hate the enemy. I think back to my uncle, and I've talked about him before, God rest his soul. I remember the way he would talk about Japanese people, the pejorative terms that he would use. Racist. That's what he was taught. Who taught him that? Government. Government taught everyone that at the time. That's why they set up those internment camps for Japanese Canadians. That's why Japanese people in the United States during World War II were not treated very well. People were afraid. They used fear and turned it into prejudice and hatred. And so years after the war, there I am back in the 1970s, the 1980s. Attitudes changed, but my uncle didn't. Not so much. A little bit. Still used those racist terms. Hard to overcome. They're doing the same thing today to make people hate the enemy, hate the Russians, hate gay people. Gay people should hate the Christians. Dehumanize the people on the other side, turn them into an enemy in order to get people to take a particular action to help you further your goals, to reach your political objectives, if you're the person acting as the puppet master. But today, the technology is so powerful. The information warfare is so sophisticated. The methods they're using, so advanced, that people don't even know it's being done to them. And it's making people hateful. And it's messing with their minds. The strangest thing that I'm seeing is that there's more than one side. And as this is happening, and people's minds are being twisted and contorted and molded, I can see the different political groups or just different organizations, but in particular political organizations, who weren't actually involved, I don't think, in the original manipulation, recognize that a particular group is being manipulated, and then they exploit it, latch onto it because they also benefit from it. So rather than try to solve the problem, they make the problem worse on purpose. Indeed, I would suggest to you that well, I don't even want to say that because it's just so unpalatable. A lot's coming down the pipe over the next month or so. Look for information warfare to get ramped up to an even higher fever pitch. It comes in waves because if you really watch and analyze it, you can see that these are campaigns. They pick a particular issue and they start a campaign that focuses on the talking points, and they hammer on those things and they get people into action, and you can't tell where the original information comes from. You can't even identify after a while what forms the core of the campaign and what is the spin-off information that's coming from it organically. It starts from a nucleus where they inject information, and they start a campaign which is designed to trigger a chain reaction. It's emotion-based. People react, respond, and then they start to make their own social media posts about it. And it spirals and it goes. And because people get so emotional about the particular subject, it just catches like wildfire. And the campaign goes out. And then they start to manipulate things. All they have to do is just a little bit of an information push here or a little bit over there to get people to protest here or engage in an action over there. They're masterful. Who would be able to do things like that? CIA, FBI, CIA, RCMP, CSIS, governments, political parties. Political action groups, political activists, big companies, corporations with big budgets, governments. What's become apparent to me is that none of this stuff is as it appears. People think in terms of black and white, good versus bad. White versus black. Positive versus negative. No. And you think that these two forces are coming together, opposing one another. And you think that if you're on this side and the government, say the government's over here and then they've got something they don't like over here, people would think that the government would want to crush this, attack it, put us down. On the surface, some of that does go on. I'm going to tell you something. They don't just do that. They go over to the other side. And it's become very obvious to me that they actually amplify sometimes. Government over here, the other side's over here, and the government will go to the side that they don't like, and they'll insert people or they'll inject information to amplify some of the incorrect information that people are being given to actually drive them crazy. I'm pretty sure it's the government doing it, or opponents of that side. See, I think they figured out that sometimes the best way to destroy a movement is to let the movement destroy itself. If they've got a bad idea, a misguided notion, don't crush it. Amplify it. Amplify the bad, which results in the movement being discredited, being divided, being distorted, people being confused, not getting any traction, not being able to get organized because they've got a whole bunch of bad ideas. Where did they come from? People who don't really want you to succeed. It's complicated. But it's like, if you see a fire over there, I don't think they want to, sometimes they don't want to put it out because it's going to linger or whatever. So they'll just go and dump a bunch of kerosene on it and let it explode into a fireball of disaster. Probably too vague, probably too broad of all the things I'm saying. It's maybe too abstract and not specific enough, not simple enough. What I'm conveying to you here tonight. I hope what I've been saying has been helpful. So let me just break it down into simple terms, because I'm gonna sign off shortly. We're not going to go the full distance tonight. I just wanted to come on and explain why I wasn't here yesterday. So it comes down to this. And I don't like being the news. That's not what this is. Although in a way we are part of the news story tonight. the real news is that television was hacked again, and Russia's under cyber attack, and then we're also under cyber attack. And that's really the news story, is that, from the news perspective, this is just me saying that, hey, World War III is upon us, and in a big way right now, tonight, because you're seeing deep fakes, heavy duty technology being used to engage in cyber warfare and information warfare in unprecedented ways. And it's imperative that everybody out there be aware to protect yourselves. And as an extension of that, we're actually under attack here as well. And not just from the government, we're getting hammered from all sides in various ways. I know it because I can see the data in our security system. And not just there, but in other ways as well. So I've got this firsthand information and empirical data that I can look to and say, yep, that's pretty compelling. I've got a pretty clear picture of what's going on here. So to sum this up, because we're under attack, I'm looking for a way to move forward in a constructive way to preserve our channels so that they don't get taken down, so that we don't suffer from censorship to the point where we're not able to convey information to people, so that we're not manipulated, so that I'm not used, so that this channel is not used in a negative way, so that I can find a way forward that best serves you. And while I'm doing that, and one of the main reasons I want to make sure that we can do that is because I am seeing this information war expand. I am seeing mental illness spreading like a cancer through our society because of this information war, which is amplified through this cyber war, which is part of it. Social media, cyber war, they're not one and the same, but they do overlap. I'm trying to raise your awareness so that you are able to at least know that you have to question everything that you watch, everything that you see, everything that you read, regardless of which side it's coming from. It's not that one side's telling you the truth and the other side is lying. It's that all the information is being distorted. So it's vitally important that everybody is aware so that you can look at everything with a critical eye and hopefully do enough homework and not get too invested in any of the information to the point where you shut yourself out, block yourself off from other ideas. Listen to everybody. Folks, you might not agree with the people on the other side, but you need to listen to them, to understand them. You might not like people on the other side. You might not like anything they stand for. But you need to listen to them because you need to understand where they're coming from. If they're your enemy, you got to get to know your enemy. Otherwise, how are you ever going to solve the problem? How are you going to defend yourself against them if you don't understand them? It's not enough to just disagree with them. If somebody's telling you don't watch mainstream media, it's your choice, but I think it's wrong. You want to get all the information. Not everything everybody tells, nobody's telling you all lies and nobody's telling you all the truth. And even the information I share with you here may not be entirely accurate or truthful because, as I've said, it's from my worldview. I'm telling you what I think is the most accurate information. I'm trying to get you closer to the truth. But my information is just my information. So I'm just making you aware, and I need you to understand that, I'm just doing my best here. And I just want you to be aware that we are under attack. We're being surveilled. We are being suppressed. You can see it yourself. You see what's going on in the chat some nights. We saw somebody come back here just the other night and get disruptive. Coincidence? I don't think so. There's stuff going on out there right now. There are developments. There are things happening. And some people would prefer that we not be here to convey information when the time comes for us to convey that information. They'd like to have us shut down. And they want you to go away. They don't want you here. They don't want you paying attention to what it is we're going to be telling you in the weeks ahead. That's why they're in there. Look for more of it. It's coming. That was actually a mix of linear information warfare and cyber warfare, because the person in there was employing technology that allowed them to impersonate other people, clone accounts, do it rapidly. They don't do that on their own. That is not something the average person knows how to do. If you were in there and experienced that the other night and you saw what was going on and you think that that person is just disgruntled in some way or that they're just drunk, that is not the case. What was going on in that chat was a prime example of an organized, choreographed troll exercise aimed at being disruptive and destroying this channel. That person has an objective, always has. That objective is to destroy this channel by being disruptive in the chat, to scare people away and frustrate you to the point where you just don't want to be here anymore. That's the tactic that they use. And then when they leave, they go over to other channels and engage in a smear campaign to discredit what we're doing here so that people don't come here. Whatever. That's the way that part of the game is played. That's just one example. That's what we're up against here. That's what our moderators are trying to deal with in there when these people come back. It's dirty. It's slimy. It's scuzzy. I don't engage in that kind of activity myself, but I'll tell you, I'm very frustrated with it. I'm tired of it. I'm trying to figure out the best way to deal with it. We sort of did. They went away. One of the things is, we've just been dealing with other subject matter here, and we've shifted the focus of the channel a lot over the last number of months. And we're focusing on other kinds of news that really don't have not been affecting people from those troll groups. So they've been leaving us alone because I just don't care. But they came back. because they know there's stuff that's coming up that they're not going to want us talking about. I wish they would just go away. Just one more example of what's going on out there. And Jilly Bean says, are we on Twitter? Yeah, we are, but I suck at Twitter. I'm trying to learn. I've just never been that aggressive about putting the tweets out. It's like zingers. I think a better name for Twitter, maybe you guys might have a better name than me, but to me, it's like they should have called it zingers. It's like, oh, there's a good zinger. You watch a video and then you have to give them a one-liner, that's very witty. And I think I overthink it, but no, yeah, we're on Twitter and we're broadcasting on there right now, but I've never been able to get much traction. I've got, a handful of subscribers, viewers over there, but we've been on there a long time. Lori's awesome at it. She's really good. Yeah. So anyway, Twitter, yeah, we're there, kind of. What else we got going on? Mouth says, Mouth of the South live on YouTube after this show. Open chat room. Yeah, go see Leo. Oh, and Tyler. Hello, Tyler. He says, I suck at it too, Rick. It's too noisy. Yeah, I suck at it, man. No good at it. Lori's really good at it. She comes up with the zingers. And here's Lori. She says, you ought to see the troll farm attacks on Caleb Malpin's chat room, Rick. Holy shit. Yeah, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. See, that's the game, man. That's exactly it. It's not just here. It's everywhere. Don't mean to whine and complain. It's not about that. I'm just raising awareness, letting people know how it kind of works. And if you're not aware, and I think some people just are not aware. So I hope this has been helpful. Anyway, folks, I'm going to, here's Dana. What's Dana saying? What do you think these secret meetings are going to accomplish, Queenie? I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. More mean tweets. Yeah, mean tweets. Choosy says, I suck at even thinking about Twitter. I always revert right back to the toxic wasteland intelligence think tank erupting return thing. Well, don't worry, Choosy. We're going to exile the Knights of Malta if it's the last thing we do. So we're still working on that. Guys, it's 7:40. We're going to call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in there and listening to me whine and complain. Not that I wanted to whine and complain. We'll survive. I'll figure this all out. We'll keep things secure, and I'll find a way forward so that we don't get everything banned. And whatever I do, I'm going to just, like I say, try to find the best way forward so that it serves you, the best interests of the public. That is all there is to it. So, please like, share, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can do that at maverickdonations.com, or you can also donate at freedomreporters.com. That'll help us keep the lights on, pay the bills, pay for the software, the phone system, the subscriptions, to keep the StreamYard and the software packages that we have to run here, and the subscriptions and all the things that cost us money. So that's how you can support the channel. If you do subscribe, please hit the notification bell on YouTube. Make sure you consider subscribing over on Rumble. We're growing over there as well. And I'd say share on Facebook. You can share it on Facebook. I'm just not allowed to post over there right now. So at least not video on the different channels. But I will be back tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with a special broadcast. We're going to have a representative from Veterans for Freedom on, talking about food security and what you can do to prepare for the worst while you hope for the best. And hopefully we get the best instead of the worst. We'll have more on that tomorrow night, as I say, at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Maverick News Channel. Catch you all on the flip side.
This has been a Maverick Multimedia production.